Okay, so the SUMIF function is kind of like sum. We're summing up numbers, but only numbers that meet a certain criteria. For an example, let's take a look at this quantity column, and we can say equals SUMIF. So first input is going to be the range. We're going to say C2 to C6. This is the range of numbers that I'm looking at. Every cell from C2 to C6, comma, and then the criteria. So let's say, remember criteria, these comparison operators go inside quotes. Let's say greater than 9. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, SUMIF for the range of cells in C2 to C6, sum every number that's greater than 9. So looking at this range right now, we see, okay, 5, that's not greater than 9, 7, 8, 2, 10. The only thing greater than 9 is 10. So we should just get 10 back. Okay, but now let's say we're interested in greater than, we'll say greater than 7. So we have a new criteria now, greater than 7, and I'll hit enter. So change to 18. Why is that? Well, which of these numbers from C2 to C6 is greater than 7? Only 8 and 10. So we're adding those together. And we can keep going here. So let's say greater than 5. Okay, now I'm getting 25 because 7, 8, and 10 are all greater than 5. So when we sum 7, 8, and 10, we get 25. So we're looking at all the numbers in this range and adding those numbers together if they meet the criteria. So we have the SUMIF lesson here. So the first question says, it gives us the formula to use, but it says, so I can just copy and paste this, but it says, find the total value of all properties which cost less than 500,000. So if I'm looking at this table, here's the values in thousands. So I'm looking for the total value for properties that cost less than 500,000. So what we're doing is we're going to use the SUMIF formula on this range of numbers for everything less than 500, and we're going to add those together. So I'll say equal sign. Remember, always starts with an equal sign. SUMIF. We're going to pick this range. I just clicked and dragged from C2 to C7, and then comma, and then less than 500. And this comparison operator goes inside quotes. And I get a result of 1,600. Because of all these numbers that are less than 500, we have 400 here, 450, 350, and 400. Those are all the values that are less than 500, and they add up to 1,600. All right. Now use SUMIF to calculate the total number of units for buildings with fewer than 3 units. Okay, so I'll do the same thing here. I'll say equal sign, SUMIF. Units, that's column D. So I could go D2 to D7, just like that, comma, and buildings with total number of units for buildings with fewer than 3 units. So less than 3. Looks like a little heart. Okay, and that gives us a result of 6. Use SUMIF to calculate the total number of units for buildings where number of units is not equal to 3. Okay, remember the not equals thing? This? So I'm going to say equals SUMIF. Let's just go column D, whatever. We can use the whole column if we want. And I'll say not equal to 3. 10. Because there's 1 where a number of units is equal to 3, and everything else we're adding up. So we're saying 2, 6, 7, 9, 10. Use SUMIF to calculate the total value of buildings where the value is greater than 480. SUMIF value. And again, I just picked all of column C. You could say C2 to C7 if you want, it's going to give you the same answer. And where the value is greater than 480. Okay, now use SUMIF to calculate the total number of units for buildings which have 2 units. So I'm going to say equals SUMIF units, total number of units for all buildings that have 2 units. So here, I'm just going to say 2, right? Because text in Excel, text goes inside quotation marks, and comparison operators go inside quotation marks. So if I was saying less than 2 or greater than 2 or not equal to 2, that would have to go inside quotes. But since I'm just saying, okay, add up all of the units where there are 2 units, that's just a number. So that doesn't go inside quotes. So I'm going to hit enter, and that gives us a value of 4. See what we did here? So we're saying, okay, for column D, sum everything that equals 2. So here's 1, and here's 1. So 2 plus 2, that gave us 4. Okay, now something similar here. Use SUMIF to calculate the total value of buildings which are worth $400,000. So I'm going to say equals SUMIF value, and again, I could just say, C2 to C7, whatever, that are worth 400. And since we're saying, okay, sum up everything that's worth exactly 400, not greater than, not less than, we're not doing a comparison here. We're just saying sum up everything that's equal to 400. So 400 is a number, doesn't need to go inside quotes. Use SUMIF to find the total number of units for properties with less than 4 units. SUMIF, units, and we're back to saying less than 4 units, so that goes inside quotes, less than 4. So for all these numbers that are less than 4, if we add those together, we would get 9. Total number of orders under 100. Column B, less than 100. Total amount for orders under 10. Well, eyeballing that right now, I can see there are no orders under 10. So we should get a result of 0. Unless I'm crazy. Less than 10. Calculate the total amount of orders over 200. Cool.